On the day their grandfather died, he didn't leave money behind. He left 3 boxes and a warning that would change their lives forever. Rain whispered against the windows of the old farmhouse as Arav, Meera, and Kabir stood quietly near the bed. Their grandfather had always been their guide, their calm in every storm. Now, the room felt unfamiliar without his gentle presence. A lawyer unfolded a sealed letter and began to read. Inside these 3 boxes lie the paths to your future. Choose wisely, and do not open the 3rd box until 10 years have passed. 10 years? The question lingered in the air. On the table sat the boxes. One large and polished, one beautifully carved, and one plain, almost forgettable. Yet somehow, the simplest box was the hardest to ignore. Kabir stepped forward first and opened the largest box. Inside were property papers, investments, and a note that read, "For the one who believes wealth creates freedom." Kabir smiled. His future suddenly looked limitless. Meera opened the 2nd box. It held journals filled with stories of people their grandfather had quietly helped. On top was a silver plaque. "Legacy is what remains when you are gone." Her eyes sparkled with purpose. Only the plain box remained. Arav noticed a small engraving. "For the one willing to wait." He placed his hand gently on the lid, but did not open it. Somehow, waiting felt important. Months passed. Kabir's investments flourished, lifting him into a life of glass towers and glowing skylines. Success followed him everywhere, yet sleep did not. Meera built a foundation in their grandfather's honor. People applauded her work. Cameras flashed. Still, each night she wondered why recognition felt strangely empty. Arav chose a quieter path, becoming a teacher in a small sunlit classroom. Children greeted him with laughter each morning. And though his life looked simple, his heart felt full. One evening, Kabir hosted a grand celebration in his penthouse. Music played, glasses clinked, and everyone praised his success. But when the last guest left, silence filled the room. For the first time, his victory felt lonely. Meera's foundation grew rapidly, and so did the pressure. Donors demanded more. Expectations rose higher. She had chased legacy, but somehow misplaced her peace. Years later, Arav visited the farmhouse and wiped the dust from the 3rd box. It seemed heavier than before. Impossible, unless time itself had placed something inside. Then, without warning, the market crashed. Kabir watched helplessly as numbers turned red and fortunes vanished. In days, the empire he built for years collapsed. Around the same time, Meera discovered someone she trusted had stolen funds from her foundation. Headlines spread quickly. Support disappeared. Her dream, once so bright, dimmed overnight. Ashamed and exhausted, the siblings returned to the farmhouse. They looked older now, not because of time, but because of disappointment. Between them sat the untouched 3rd box. And that night, 10 years had finally passed. With trembling hands, Arav lifted the lid. The old wood creaked softly, releasing the faint scent of sandalwood. Inside lay a letter and a small antique key. The letter read, "If you are opening this, time has already taught you what I never could." They exchanged quiet glances. Had their grandfather known the struggles they would face? The key led them to a locked cabinet in the barn. Inside were hundreds of handwritten notes, each describing someone their grandfather had helped anonymously. Families saved, students educated, strangers given a second chance. At the bottom rested one final message. Wealth fades. Applause fades faster. But the lives you lift will carry your light long after you are gone. Kabir sunk into a chair. Meera wiped away tears. For the first time, they understood. Hidden beneath the letters were modest trust documents. Not meant for luxury, but to help others rebuild their lives. Their grandfather had never been loudly rich. Yet he had quietly changed hundreds of futures. They found an old recorder nearby. When it clicked on, his familiar voice filled the room. My dear children, I did not leave you answers. I left you choices. I wanted you to taste success and disappointment. Because wisdom cannot be given, it must be discovered. Tears blurred their vision, but their hearts felt strangely lighter. Kabir decided to rebuild, differently this time. He began supporting small family businesses, meeting each owner personally. And with every grateful smile, he felt richer than ever before. Meera reopened her foundation quietly. No cameras, no speeches, just genuine help where it was needed most. For the first time, her work brought her peace. Arav placed the empty third box beside their grandfather's rocking chair. Now he understood. Patience had not delayed his life. It had prepared his heart to understand it. Time moved gently forward. One golden evening, the siblings gathered again in the farmhouse, this time with their own children laughing nearby. On the table rested 3 new boxes. Inside each was a handwritten note. Choose with your heart, and let time teach you the rest. As the sunset poured warm light through the windows, Arav whispered softly, Grandfather never gave us 3 boxes. He gave us 3 chances to become better humans. The wind rustled outside, almost like his gentle laughter. And in that quiet moment, they finally understood. True wealth is not what you keep, but what you give. True legacy is not what you leave behind, but who you lift along the way. And true wisdom is learning the difference before time teaches it for you. The moral of the story is, money can build a comfortable life, but kindness builds a meaningful one. Live in a way that your legacy is not counted in riches, but remembered in hearts.
If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And share it with your friends.